Symbol stamps. Work with your students to come up with a list of the things that belong on your map. For this example, I'm just showing basic community features, but you could do all kinds of things like natural resources, geological features, populations and demographics, expeditions, local businesses and services, historical events, or even cultural contributions. Once you have your list, you and your students can look at some common symbols. It's important to talk about how a symbol is usually very simple, but it can represent a much more complex idea. Now it's time to create your own symbols. Usually I like to do 2 or 3 together as a class, and we talk about keeping them very basic and simple. And then I let my students create their own symbols. If they're doing a group map, then each student might be assigned one feature to create a symbol for. If they're doing a personal map, then they can come up with a whole list of their own symbols. If you're making a map where students are just drawing the symbols onto the map, then that's what you're ready to do next. For this activity, I'm going to show you how to make really simple little stamps. So the first step is to draw your symbol onto a little tiny piece of craft foam. Use a pencil to really press the lines down into the foam. You can see that I created a couple of these symbols now, but I wanted to tell you that if you're doing something really basic, you could also just cut the entire shape out of foam rather than drawing the image into the foam. I create handles for my stamps using pink insulation foam. You can get this fairly inexpensively at a hardware store in a variety of sizes. I find the 1-inch thick kind is easiest to cut. You just score it and snap it. Now just peel off those paper backings and stick your symbols onto the handles. I would recommend practice stamping those symbols so that you can get a feel for how much ink to use. You also might find that some of your lines don't transfer very well. If that's the case, just use your pencil to trace over the symbol again, and that will strengthen your lines. Now use those symbols to make a map. One thing that's fun is when your students can trade and share their symbols. Don't forget to put them in a map key. Have fun!